All right, we're back. Back in Dubai, and Raducanu is back, and we're watching her play. We're watching her play against Ruzic, who we learned how to say her name at the Australian Open because she played. I think she played Osaka, right? So we shouldn't have any difficulties pronouncing her name properly from the start of the stream until the end. But yeah, Raducanu was supposed to play Cocciaretto, but Cocciaretto withdrew. I'm not sure why, but she has played a lot of tennis lately, Cocciaretto, so maybe that's why she decided to skip. But let's see if the change of opponent makes any difference to Raducanu. All right. And then we've got, in a couple of hours, we've got Jannik Sinner, who's going to take on Thomas Mahatch. So that's going to be fun. How are we doing, chat? Are we ready? Menchik 3-set points in a row and lost the first set. Terrible playing. Ouch. That's unfortunate. By the way, winner of this match has got an opponent. And that opponent is going to be Zakharova, one of many of the lucky losers in this tournament. So, Raducanu, before the third round, where Rybakina might be the player that she plays, 2 lucky losers in her way. So that's a good draw for Raducanu until she plays Rybakina, if she plays Rybakina. But it's not easy after that. There's a lot of tough opponents after that, as you'd expect in this 1,000 tournament. But yeah, Kalinskaya versus Ostapenko and also Siniakova Badosa are playing tonight. And that'll round us off for the day, which means the draw, so the schedule for tomorrow should be coming out pretty shortly. Should be coming out in the next couple of, probably next hour, right? Usually the draw comes out by now for these, around the end of the day, and we're at the end of the day. Let me check, maybe it's on the internet. It is. Yay. All right. So tomorrow. Oh, surprise, surprise. Eala and Paolini are last match of the day. Smart. They put it on very last match of the day, which actually, you know what? That sucks because the people that are from the Philippines have to stay up super late tomorrow. Because it starts at like 4 a.m. my time, which is like 1 a.m. Filipino time. So that's kind of shitty scheduling for from the tournament for the Philippines TV viewers, but for the tournament, yeah, okay, last match of the day, why not? What else we got tomorrow? So tomorrow we've got Andreeva Kazatkina, Gauff versus Penko potentially. We're back in a place tomorrow. You got the winner of this playing tomorrow. Bencic Balic is tomorrow. Badosa Svitolina could be tomorrow. Thanks, Gene. You must have not be in the chat because I'm just talking about now. So yeah. I'm pretty sure the Doha draw's not out yet. The schedule's not out yet. Nah. Not yet. But yeah. So yeah, late night match tomorrow night for Eala and Paolini, which is totally understandable. Please, can we watch Rublev or Medvedev when they play? Yeah, we could. We could watch that tomorrow. Maybe. We're going to watch Alcaraz tomorrow. He'll be playing. Let me have a look who else is playing tomorrow on the men's side. Because Dubai we know, but Doha we don't. So tomorrow you've got Alcaraz, Rinderknecht. Nesh. We'll definitely watch that. Medvedev, Zhang. Medvedev, Zhang, I should say. Rublev, De Jong. Yeah, look, I gotta be honest. Doha, it's probably just gonna be Carlos tomorrow. And then on the women's side, he'll probably play tomorrow night. Like, there's no... I'd be shocked if he played during the day. He'll play at the same time as Sinner plays, which means we'll have a little bit of a clash, but that's okay. Unless they put him on late afternoon, I'm not sure. Anyways, 15 love. Ruzic hits a 4-1 winner down the line. 30 love. Great start. 30 love. And then also, yeah, on the women's side, we'll watch. We'll just have to wait till the matches are finalized. But there are some other... We might watch Raducanu. Maybe. Probably watch Coco tomorrow as well. Jovic Schneider's kind of interesting. 40 love. As we just serve into the forehand of Raducanu. Backhand now from Ruzic is a winner. And Ruzic takes the first game 1 love. One zero. Kenin does not get easy first rounds. Okay. I don't know what time Carlos plays, but I'm guessing he'll play at the same time as Sinner plays tonight. So he'll probably be the night session tomorrow night. Unless he wants to play during the day. Because he will decide. The tournament might say night. He might say nope. And yeah. Oh, actually, you know what? Sinner's actually not playing at night. Technically. He's playing... Oh, actually, no, sorry. He's playing at 7:30 at night. He is playing at night. So they probably put him at night, or they'll put Alcaraz on... if Alcaraz wants to play Rinderknech Nesh during the day, which I don't think that'd be a bad option. Because I think maybe... I don't know. But he might play... He'll be playing either mid-afternoon or night. He won't play first thing. But the schedule should come out pretty soon. No, 15 love. As we just a nice return from Ruzic. And then a backhand winner from Raducanu. 30 love. Yeah, and Boko withdrew with an arm injury. I think elbow, arm. Ruzic, I don't think Ruzic and... Did Ruzic play Raducanu in Melbourne? No, she played Osaka. She got a set off Osaka. Did Ruzic. But Ruzic is on a main draw losing streak, but she did win a match in qualies. One match. So she snapped the losing streak, but she hasn't been the greatest in the main draw. Forehand to forehand rally now. Raducanu hits a forehand inside out wide. 40-15. All right, 40-15. As Raducanu serves again. Serve is a fault. Second serve. Serving to the backhand of Ruzic. Return into the front of Raducanu. Ruzic backhand to backhand with Raducanu. As Raducanu slices it down the line. Ruzic gets it back with a forehand to the backhand of Raducanu. Ruzic goes cross-court for a forehand winner. 40-30. All right, 40-30. So yeah, Ruzic did make the semifinals of Hobart, someone just mentioned in the chat. But since that semifinal, she has lost 5 matches in a row. Now, she lost first round of qualifying, but because there's been so many withdrawals, she got the call up despite not even making the final round. So she got very lucky. But she's on a 5-match losing streak since losing to Cocchiaretto in Hobart. So it goes out by Raducanu. And we get a deuce. All right, we get the deuce. That's a fault from Raducanu. Second serve. Second serve. Is a let. As the return goes back into Raducanu. Ruzic backhand to the slice of Raducanu. As Ruzic hits a drop shot. Raducanu's going to come to the net. Ruzic backhand pass, too good. All right, advantage Ruzic to take the break. Advantage Ruzic. As Raducanu serves. A fault. Take the second serve. Serve to the back of Ruzic. Return to the forehand of Raducanu. Raducanu puts it away. Deuce. Linda.
Happy Shelton won another title. When is next?
He's not playing next week, but he's playing, I think, in Acapulco. But thank you for the donation. Back to Deuce. A7T. Advantage Raducanu. As Raducanu comes in with a slice. Ruzic passing shot winner again. And we get back to Deuce. All right, back to Deuce. And we had a fault, second serve. Happy Chinese New Year. What's up? As we had a double fault, Ruzic with a chance to get the break. Advantage Ruzic. As with another fault, second serve. As with a fly now from Ruzic into the slice. Raducanu in the net. All right. Ruzic with the break. Two love Ruzic. By the way, Raducanu I think was up 40 love. All right. Zverev is playing in Acapulco as well. Two love Ruzic. Serving to the backhand of Raducanu. Ruzic backhand to the front of Raducanu. Into the front of Ruzic. Ruzic in the nets. And it's love 15. Love 15. As the return goes in the backhand of Ruzic. Forehand from Raducanu to the front of Ruzic. As Raducanu forehand goes long. 15-all. 15-all. Get a good serve by Ruzic. 30-15. As Ruzic with another good serve. 40-15. What a start. All right, 40-15. Is it fair to say, although she's still young, Emma had a decent draw to win her only title in New York? One of the best runs for a teenager ever, by the way. Hindsight is a beautiful thing. And I know you're, Jerry, I know you're not saying it is like, like trying to discredit her. I know that. There's a lot of players that had easy draws at slams, that won slams, but we don't talk about them because nobody remembers what the draw was. As the return goes into the backhand of Ruzic, Raducanu backhand in the net, and it's 3-love Ruzic. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of... If you dig deep enough, you'll find a lot of slams that players won where there's definitely some... I mean, Barty at the French Open 2019 was an easier road than it could have been, but we don't discredit her for that. So it's funny because, like, in hindsight, you look back and go, oh, who did she beat, right? And you're not saying that, Jerry, but other people say that. But you also got to remember that at the time she was a qualifier. So, like, she shouldn't have even made it through the first round. So, to those who think that, like, oh, Raducanu had an easy draw, yeah, but she wasn't number 10 in the world. So, it's an easy draw for a top 10 player, maybe, on paper. But for a qualifier, there's no such thing as an easy draw. Right? I mean, let me have a look at who she played, right? By the way, it's kind of disrespectful to people that played that event. That she had to play. So who did she play? She played Vogel in the first round, lucky loser. Okay, that was an easy first round. She won that. Then she played Shang in the second round, Tormo in the third, Rogers in the fourth, and then she played Bencic, Sakari, Fernandez. Bencic and Sakari are not... That's not easy. By the way, Sakari went on to become number 3 in the world. Bencic has been, top 4 before that as well. So, I mean, to say that was those are easy matches is disrespectful to those two players who are very, very good. Now, could she have had a harder road? Of course. She definitely could have. She would have played Alexandrova in the first round, I think, had Alexandrova not withdrawn. She would have played Mukova in the third round if Mukova didn't lose to Tormo. She would have played Barty, right? If Barty hadn't lost to Rogers. So it definitely could have been harder. She could have played Sabalenka in the final if Sabalenka didn't lose. But it's not Raducanu's fault that she didn't get to play those players because she won and they lost. So it wasn't her fault that she wasn't her choice to avoid Barty. It wasn't her choice to avoid Sabalenka. It's just how it worked. So, yeah. it's easy in hindsight, but also at the time, a qualifier making a run like that. I mean, I remember that US Open. It was one of the most memorable US Opens because it was so electric with Fernandez doing things and Raducanu doing things, and they were both going through. Plus, with Djokovic trying to win a calendar slam on the men's side, that whole US Open was so electric. 15:30. But yeah, in hindsight, you look back and you go, oh, Raducanu kind of didn't have to play Barty, and she didn't have to play Sabalenka, and she didn't have to play all the big guns. But at the time, everybody she played at the time was better than her, except for maybe her first round. Everybody else she played at the time was higher ranked, was supposed to win, right? Rogers was supposed to win. Tormo was supposed to win. By the way, people forget that Tormo was coming off beating Barty at the Olympics like a month earlier. So Tormo in the third round for Raducanu is not an easy match. But Raducanu smoked her, right? Bencic, not easy. Zachary, not easy. Like, they're not easy opponents. Are they easier than Sabalenka? Yeah, but not by much. Like, Zachary and Bencic are pretty damn good. So, yeah. Hindsight, it could have been harder, but again, people forget that like Raducanu was, 200 in the world at the time, or 150? Anyways, she's in trouble here, 15-40. She comes to the net. Ruzic pass. Raducanu volley winner, 30-40. Also, the fact, Raducanu came out of nowhere. She only had played like 2 tournaments or 3 tournaments in her life. Like she did well at the Wimbledon that year. But then after that, I think she played like 2 more events, and then she played the US Open. So it was like her 5th or 6th tournament professional event, and she won the whole thing. I mean, that is another thing that just gets missed. And people don't remind themselves that that's happened, right? Just want to look back at like, well, who did she beat? It was only her fourth, second Grand Slam, like 5th tournament ever or something. Like it's actually, instead of like, people trying to downplay it, it's actually one of the craziest things that could have ever happened in the sport. Like Raducanu's run will only be appreciated post her career because so many people now think like, she's overrated, blah, blah, blah. Well, not so many, just a small, tiny group of loudmouths, right? It's only a loud group of people. There's not many people, but it's a small group of very loud people who talk shit, right? But it's going to be talked about as one of the greatest runs we've ever seen in tennis. If you like her or not, it's going to happen, right? Because it's remarkable the way that she won that tournament. Advantage Raducanu. Like it's an all-time run. And those people that are hating on her now are going to be the same people that in 10, 15 years, when somebody asks, how was that run that Raducanu had? They're going to be the same people that turn around and go, oh, that was a magical run. I watched the whole thing. Like they're going to turn around and become fans in the end when they get asked about it because they'll make them feel important. Right? We know how this works, chat. They hate now, but eventually they're going to be like, oh yeah, I watched Raducanu and that was amazing. Oh, bullshit. You weren't here. You didn't like her. Backhand winner. From Raducanu, it's 3-1. Like, they will be the same people that, like, when they get asked about Raducanu in 20 years, they'll say, oh, yeah, Raducanu, that was a great run. Bullshit. You hated her. But we love her, and we watch her all the time, and we're going to talk about her all the time. Because, again, that run was phenomenal. It might be an anomaly, but that doesn't take away how phenomenal it was. 3-1 Ruzic. And the fact that people still talk about it is going to be a testament because people are going to talk about it forever. Even if they talk shit about it, it's still going to be something that people talk about forever. And when she retires, nobody's going to care about what she did after that. If she doesn't win another slam, if she doesn't do anything else as spectacular as that, nobody's going to remember that. Everyone's going to go, remember when Raducanu won that slam as a quali in her 5th tournament of ever? Fresh out of high school? Like that. Remember that, right? That was crazy. Love her, but Fernandez deserves to win. Yeah, but at the end of the day, you have to win or lose. It's not about who deserved what. You don't get what you deserve. You get what you win, right? Tennis doesn't give prizes out for, deserving things, right? You don't just, people just, you have to win it. Fernandez had to win it. Also, it's kind of like, I don't know if you guys have this in your countries, but in Australia, it was always really fascinating when we have those singing competitions, and the person that won the competition would often go on to be less known than the runner-up. And I feel like that's kind of like what's happening with Raducanu Fernandez, is that Fernandez has actually gone on to have a better career so far as a runner-up, and it might have made her hungrier because she did lose. And have, maybe if Fernandez had won and Raducanu hadn't won, maybe Raducanu would have been, it would have, been the opposite of how they have turned out right now. Because when Dominic Thiem won the US Open, he said it himself, and I'm paraphrasing, that, he kind of achieved what he wanted to. And he was like, well, now what do I do? And then he got injured, right? And that wasn't because of what, he didn't take it seriously. But when you achieve the goal, especially when you achieve the goal so early, what's next, Whereas Fernandez, she still hasn't achieved that goal. And maybe not winning this US Open was good for her, to taste that bit of glory and go, oh, I was so close. Let's try and do it again, And who knows what would have happened if it was the other way around. I don't think Fernandez would have lost the fire, but, winning a Grand Slam that young and then to have to do it again. I mean, I heard Pat Rafter in an interview say the same thing. When he won his first US Open, he's like, yes, I did the thing. And then they're like, you do it again now. And he's like, what? But I worked my ass off to win one. Now I have to win two? And he did win two. But, if the goal is winning a slam, if you worked all your life to win a Grand Slam and you win one and you do it, how do you reset to do it again? That's... how do you keep that fire to do it again and again and again and again? That's very, very interesting to see. All right. But Raducanu's in trouble here. 4-1. This is all hindsight and we'll never know. Yeah, exactly. I mean, look, the Fernandez run was amazing too. We're not going to take anything away from Fernandez. She had an amazing run to the final. But Raducanu had an amazing run to the title. And she was a qualifier. So, Fernandez might have had tougher matches, but Raducanu played more matches. So it kind of, when they got to that final, they both were coming off, one was coming off 3-setters and the other one was coming off 2 extra matches. So it wasn't 3 extra matches. So it wasn't like Fernandez came in with a disadvantage because she'd played harder tennis, or at least she'd played longer matches, because it all evened out. I'm not exactly what the time was, how long Raducanu was on court for compared to Fernandez. I'm sure it was pretty similar though. But Raducanu had to play 3 extra matches, which that's what makes the run for me. It's not so much like, oh, well, she had to play, she didn't have to play anyone. It's the fact that she had to play 3 extra matches. That's what makes the run remarkable to me. It's like she won 10 matches to win that slam. And she won every match in straight sets, which again is just that's dominance right there. Love 15. Raducanu is commercially popular. Tennis is secondary at this point. Yeah. Okay. Love 30. Yeah, because Raducanu is 400 in the world and doesn't give a shit. And she's only here because she's got a wild card today, and that's the only reason she's even here. Because she doesn't, she's off, she doesn't really give a shit, right? Yeah, it's not like she's been clawing her way back from, by the way, 3 surgeries, ankle and wrist surgery, which are not easy surgeries to get over for a tennis player. It's not like she had that and was off for 9 to 12 months and then came back and had to work her way back and then, has slowly clawed her way back into the top 10. Or sorry, top 30. Yeah, it's not like Raducanu's done any effort work at all. Because of course, tennis is like obviously her hobby, and she's a full-time. I don't know what full-time Tiffany model. Is that what you're saying? Yeah, Raducanu. I mean, she barely even plays. Double fault. She's having a tough day today, though. I can admit that. 5-1. Penko needs to get in better shape. Why is that? She seems to play pretty damn good. What's even more impressive is she won all those games in straight sets. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Sue, I agree. All right, 5-1. Ace down the tee from Ruzic. 15 love. Now, Raducanu last week, unfortunately, had to retire her match. Do we know exactly why she was? Was it illness or was it I can't remember. Did she give a reason? I can't remember. I know she was coming straight from Romania. But was there a reason why, or was it just like fatigue and illness? I can't remember. We watched so much tennis since then. All right, 30 love. Ruzic into the forehand of Raducanu. Ruzic backhand. Nope. Raducanu with her forehand. It was in apparently. Okay, forehand out from Raducanu. Into the forehand of Ruzic as Raducanu forehand again. The forehand of Ruzic. And Ruzic in the net for 30-15. She was sick, was she? Yeah. Okay. All right, 30-15. Didn't she say she was fighting a chest infection? Did she? Okay, that makes sense. She was sick. All right. Well, that makes a lot of sense then. 30-15. And if you think about it, going from like the hot of Australia to the freezing cold of winter in Romania, then going back to the desert, yeah, I'd probably get sick too. That feels like a recipe for illness. Always sick, injured, or tired. I tell you what, Raul, always hating. You're always hating. Always hating. That's why I was so surprised when you said, like, let's go Penko. And I was like, wait a second, you don't hate everybody? That's crazy, man. You like players? All right, first serve's a fault, second serve. Second serve, Ruzic. Into the backhand of Raducanu. Return the forehand of Ruzic. Ruzic hits a winner. Raducanu didn't even run for that. 40-30. Yeah, Raducanu didn't even attempt to go for that one. 40-30. Has Andy Murray ruled out coaching again? Why would he coach? He coached Djokovic. Why would he come back and coach again? That sounds like he doesn't need to do that. 7th for Raducanu. Return goes long. Ruzic takes the first set, 6-1. And 3 hours or 4 hours ago, Ruzic wasn't even going to play. Raducanu's retiring. No? Yes. No. That was weird. Both players walked to the net like they were going to shake hands. That was awkward. That was a fake out, like Alcaraz used to do. No, I'm not going to. Raducanu, nope. Just tricking. I think she called for the trainer, though. Raducanu's still playing. All right, no retirement. Let's see what happens next. 4 matches are not going to be played because of retirements. Yeah. It's crazy that we're in February and players are already stuffed. This is embarrassing. Are you embarrassed as a Raducanu fan? Is that why? Or are you embarrassed? You're not. Are you a fan? I'm pretty sure the trainer's coming out for Raducanu. I'm pretty sure. By the way, where did Raducanu say that she had a chest infection last week? I'm trying to find the... Raducanu doesn't look in a good way. She's kind of like hunched over, looking pretty... I mean, she might be disappointed at the score, but she kind of does look... here comes the trainer. Cocciaretto, I think she just pulled out with fatigue because she played a lot of tennis lately. All right. Raducanu's got the trainers out. I read about a chest infection on the BBC website. Oh, okay. All right, trainers out on court for Raducanu. All right, so Raducanu. Yeah, it looks like they're taking their they're just checking all her vitals. I'm still trying to find the information about Raducanu from last week. At least she's trying to play and not pulling out tournaments. Yeah. Yeah, so she's having the same thing checked as last week, having her blood pressure checked and all those things. But she's going to keep playing Raducanu, so that's good. Yeah, I can't see any information about it, but yeah. Anyways, she's back on. And she serves an ace. 15 love. All right, 15 love. By the way, Chuck, it'll always fascinate me to know why people get so upset over players they don't like. 30 love. Man, like it must be such, you must be so miserable to get so upset over a player you don't even like. Oh, she's got another medical timeout. Oh my God. Are you a fan of hers? No, I really don't like her. Then why are you wasting your energy? You must just be so angry all the time. Like any inconvenience in your life must just really, I couldn't imagine how miserable everything must be. You look outside, the sun shines. Oh, the sun's up again. Oh, it starts raining. Oh, it's raining now. Oh, I dropped my keys. I have to pick them up. Oh, it must be miserable watching someone you don't like play tennis. It's crazy, man. Just watch your favorites. It's much more fun, trust me. 40 love. 40 love. 2026. Be better. It's a new year. It's still a new year. It's not too late. It's not too late. We're 47 days into the year. You can still make a change for the good. You can be a positive change in the world. Ruzic hits a winner, 40-15. We actually have too much rain. That's misery. I would love to live in the UK if it was it's too hot in Australia and I'm bitching about it every day. But I also don't then spend the rest of my day hate watching. Luckily, I don't hate any tennis players because we watch everything. Is cam therapy? No. If you want therapy, go get a professional help. This is not a therapist's office. I'm just giving you some friendly advice. Also, you're bumming out everybody else in the chat. So you're bringing everyone else down. Go sort your shit out. I love lamp. Yes. 40-30. Want some snow? I'd love it to snow here. It'd be great. $40-30. As Raducanu holds, 1 love in the second. All right. I always wonder if Emma would like to have retired on Konta's record or where she was today, not even close. Chat, one word answer. Whose career would you rather? Jo Konta, Emma Raducanu. Whose career would you rather have? If you had to pick one of those players' tennis career, who would you pick? Raducanu's career, or would you want to be Jo Konta? Would you want her career? All right. Ruzic, good serve, 15 love. I mean, it's a no-brainer for me. Personally, it's a no-brainer, but, I mean, you might have different reasons. Raducanu, Emma, Raducanu, Emma, Raducanu. Not even a question, Emma has a slam. I mean, that's my exact words. Raducanu has a slam. And I'm sure Jo Konta would trade everything she ever did in tennis for a Grand Slam. Yeah. 15-0. I look, respect to Konta. She had a great career, but Grand Slam career doesn't matter who it is infinitely better. Anyone would die for Raducanu's career because she has a slam. If she hadn't got a slam, then we could have a discussion, but she has one, so it doesn't. Only British player on the women's side in 50 years. Yep. Again, nobody wants to hear that, though. 15-30. Raducanu with a great return winner, by the way. There's a backhand return from Raducanu with the forehand of Ruzic. Raducanu forehand to the backhand of Ruzic. Into the backhand of Raducanu as Ruzic forehand goes wide. And it's 15-40. All right, 15-40. Yeah, by the way, that's why I said on court, because everyone's going to go, but Raducanu's richer. Yeah, okay. We're not talking about how much money. We're talking about on court performance. And whose career would you rather have? Not whose money, whose bank account would you have? But again, same answer. It's probably Raducanu as well, right? Ace down the tee from Ruzic, 30-40. Even Zverev would like Emma's career. That was a low blow, but I think it's funny. That was kind of funny. I'm sure he would. He'd be like, yeah, give me that US Open. 30-40. And a fault from Ruzic, second serve. Second serve into the backhand of Raducanu. Returning to the forehand of Ruzic. Raducanu slice on the stretch. As Ruzic forehand inside out winner. Too good. Deuce. Exactly London lady. No one has ever done it from being a qualifier champion. She is one of one. All right, deuce. As Ruzic serves again. Into the forehand of Raducanu. Ruzic forehand to the backhand of Raducanu. Into the backhand of Ruzic. Raducanu in the net with the backhand, and it's advantage of Ruzic to level this second set. But yeah, Raducanu's body language is not good. She is looking spent. As a default second serve. As the return goes in the backhand of Ruzic. Raducanu backhand to the backhand of Ruzic. As Raducanu again with the backhand to the forehand of Ruzic. As we forehand now. Sorry, backhand now from Raducanu. Ruzic hits the tape, goes in. Raducanu gets back. As Ruzic slice. Raducanu backhand again. As Ruzic backhand again. The forehand of Raducanu. Ruzic on the stretch. Raducanu. Forehand inside out again. The backhand of Ruzic. Ruzic in the net. And we get back to deuce. Are we watching Sinner later? Hell yeah, we are. Spent way out. Why? Because she was ill last week. And she still might be sick. We don't know. All right, deuce. As Ruzic serves. A fault, second serve. Glad I didn't have any trouble with the Ruzic name. Yeah, I never have ever. It didn't take me like an hour to learn it. I knew it already off by heart. I can speak. All right. Ruzic, second serve. Double fault Ruzic. Raducanu, a chance to get the break here in the second. All right. Advantage Raducanu. As Ruzic serves. Into the backhand of Raducanu. Ruzic backhand down the line. Raducanu gets with the forehand. Into the backhand of Ruzic. Raducanu forehand again to the backhand of Ruzic. Cross court the slice of Raducanu. Ruzic. Forehand inside out winner. Another beautiful shot. Back to deuce. Back to deuce. Back to deuce. Made a fault. Second serve. Backhand return goes in the backhand of Ruzic. She hits it out in the backhand, and it's advantage Raducanu. Where can I watch this match for free? Probably in Dubai. If you go to Dubai, maybe. They might have it on the television. I don't know. Or you can watch it on WTA TV. Advantage Raducanu. As Ruzic serves out wide. Raducanu hits it out in the return, and we get back to deuce. Feast match started. Nice. We'll keep an eye on him. Eala on center court again. It's all because of Paolini, in my honest opinion. Well, your honest opinion is wrong. Like, actually. Like, I'm not even sorry. Like, it is. You're wrong. It's because of Eala. All right, Ruzic serves again. Into the backhand of Raducanu. Great return win up. Advantage. And like you don't have to like it or hate it. Eala's got center court because she's the most popular player. One of the most popular players in the world. And she got center court against Baptiste. So that, I mean, again, I'm not being mean to you, but she got it because she is the one who brings in the crowds. Backhand rally. Ruzic gets back to deuce. Like, actually. Because, like, why... Eala was on center court against Baptiste. A lucky loser. Paolini versus Eala, no-brainer, center court, but Eala was on center court without Paolini. Like, it's just... That's just facts. Like, Eala doesn't need Paolini to get promoted to center court. The tournaments are learning. They learned from Australia. So Doha and Dubai watched Australian Open and said, wow, people are lining around the block to watch this lady on court 12. We should probably put her on a center court just to be safe so we don't come into any issue with with crowd control, right? All right, advantage Ruzic. Popular in what sense? In the normal sense where a lot of people like you and they really want to watch you play tennis or they really want to see you. That's popularity, right? All right, advantage Ruzic. Return goes long by Raducanu. It's 1-1. Yeah, Paolini versus Eala, no-brainer center court, but don't get it twisted. Eala is the one who's going to get more support tomorrow night. Eala is bringing the fans. Paolini has fans too. I'm not saying she doesn't, but I haven't seen any other crowd as packed as the Eala match last night. And as soon as her match stopped, everyone left, which was kind of shitty, but you know, it is what it is. They came to see her. They didn't come to see anyone else. And we just watched Chen versus Fernandez. There wasn't that many people there. This match, there's a few people there, but unfortunately, it's not on center court, so we can't really get an accurate comparison. But like it or not, Eala is hot right now, and a lot of people want to see her. So they're going to give her the biggest stadium because that's where you can fit the most people. You know? Yeah, Paolini definitely has fans. I'm not saying she doesn't. I'm just saying that Eala's going to have the crowd tomorrow because she had the crowd yesterday and she's had the crowd every time she's played. I don't think Eala's had except for Guadalajara when there was no crowd for whatever reason. Eala brings like everybody, like, you know, she is the crowd favorite every time. I would love to see her play in America on Arthur Ashe and see what the crowd's like. That'd be interesting. All right, backhand return goes the forehand of Raducanu. Forehand from Ruzic in the net, and it's 40 love. Yeah, Coco's playing tomorrow. She'll play Badosa or... No, sorry, she's playing Penko, right? Penko Kalinskaya. Penko or Kalinskaya. And at this point, it's Ostapenko Gauff. We'll watch that tomorrow, probably. Maybe. All right, Raducanu to stay in front. As the return goes in, the backhand of Raducanu. Backhand out from Ruzic. Into the front of Raducanu. Raducanu hits it out, 40-15. How's that working out for Fonseca? Hey! Don't you bring Fonseca into this. How dare you? He has had a back injury. How dare you bring our boy into this? Don't you dare. Don't you dare. You leave our boy out of it. Where's Leon? Leon, back me up. 40-15. Don't you dare talk negatively about Fonseca. The future world #1 Grand Slam champion. 40-15. Raducanu serves again. Into the back end of Ruzic. Back into Raducanu. The front of Ruzic. Ruzic in the net. It's 2-1 Raducanu in the second. As of now, I can see Filipino people based in California buying Indian Wells tickets. Oh, yeah, Indian Wells is going to be packed. Hopefully, they've learned the lesson from the tournaments that have made mistakes. Not putting Eala on center court. Eala's got to be center court, Indian Wells. She has to be. Like, you have to give her center court. I've seen Eala close up in Eastbourne last year, both practicing and playing. Wow, that's awesome. Leave Fonzie go or I'll club you there. That's harsh. We're not going to, no violence. 16 points, Emma, to take the set. That's it. All right, Raducanu with the lead, 2-1 in the second. Cam, you made Eala popular? I didn't do shit. Eala not playing doubles. No, because doubles in 1000s is very, very hard to get into. It's 1000's a mini Grand Slam, so they don't just let players play for no reason. You have to be a decent doubles player. Sorry, a decently ranked doubles player to get in. Like they don't just give out. Maybe they should have given her a wild card because she did bring a lot of people to Abu Dhabi. But yeah, it's a little bit like it's not fair for the. That doubles in 1000s are such a big deal for the doubles players that they don't really want to. They want to give doubles players a chance to earn the points. But who knows? Maybe at Indian Wells she'll get to play the doubles because she is getting up there in the doubles rankings too, Eala, from when she's played. Watching Menchik play, and I'm wondering, is this really a way to improve your... Is there a way to improve your forehand? Menchik doesn't seem to have a racket head speed. He can't beat Synchrez with this forehand. Yeah, but he's injured too, right? He was coming off an injury, so maybe he's just not 100% yet. Because he pulled out of Australian Open with a injury. What injury was it, chat? Remind me before I look it up. Love 15. Ruzic with a fault, second serve. I want to say it was like abdominal, but it might be something else. I can't remember. As Ruzic serves the second serve ace. It was abdominal, yeah. So maybe he's not 100% back yet. But because he has to defend Miami in a couple of weeks, maybe he feels the need to play, Maybe he feels the pressure to play. All right, 15-0. As the return goes in the front of Ruzic. Ruzic with a winner down the line. That's 30-15. Yeah, we've got Sinner coming up in about 2 hours. Eala made Eala popular, and Eala can make Cam even more popular. Okay. Menchik was up 6-3 in the tiebreak, lost 5 points in a row. Ouch. All right, 30-15 is Ruzic with an ace down the tee. Raducanu just can't get there. She just puts a racket out like it's too far away. All right, 40-15. First serve is a fault. Second serve. As Raducanu hits a return winner, 40-30. 40-30. Serve again. Into the forehand of Raducanu. Backhand from Ruzic. The backhand of Raducanu. Ruzic hits it long, and we get to deuce. Eala beating 3 Grand Slam champions in a row have had something to do with her popularity. I'll tell you what, I think it's more likely. That definitely helped. But I think it's just that Philippines is a sleeping giant. Like it's been a sleeping giant in tennis and in sports, right? It's a sleeping giant. And when a Filipino or a Filipina does well in any sport, they rally around the player. You know, and that's why it's crazy to me that like still, even 12 months on, people are still questioning why is she on center court? Why isn't she on center court, right? She has just got like this 100 million strong fan base, right? That are coming to watch tennis for the first time is Ruzic in the net deuce. Because I remember when she won the Junior US Open, we never really talked juniors. And I remember watching that during that US Open, people were like, hey, did you see Eala won the juniors? And I'm like, juniors? Like 2022, we're talking about juniors. It was crazy. But then I was like, oh, so obviously a lot of people are paying attention to this junior from the Philippines. Okay. And then it wasn't until last year that, the Miami run obviously opened everyone's eyes to how, there's a lot of people tracking what she's up to. And the last 12 months have been proof of that. All right, Evander Raducanu, by the way. Anyways, we'll watch her tomorrow. We'll talk about Eala tomorrow. How's Draper still in the top 20? Indian Wells is a big reason for that. His points at Indian Wells. All right, Evander Raducanu to get the break in the second. Return goes into the front of Ruzic. Into the front of Raducanu. Ruzic back end on the stretch. Raducanu back end into the middle of the court of the front of Ruzic as we get a backhand rally. Ruzic again to the backhand. Raducanu hits it in the net. And we'll get back to deuce. Ruzic survives. Serve again. As we to return into the backhand of Ruzic. Backhand of Raducanu goes long, and it's advantage Ruzic. Raducanu's had chances in the last few games to get an early second set break. Not advantage Ruzic. We got a fault, second serve. Also counts guys got a break in the second. All right. Ruzic. She holds. And it's 2-0 in the second. 30 minutes played already for these 4 games. First set took 30 minutes. What the hell? All right. All right. By the way, chat, we're almost at 285,000 subscribers. All right, first serve the fault, second serve. And the return goes in front of Raducanu. Ruzic goes into the back of Raducanu. As Ruzic again to the back of Raducanu. Ruzic goes to the Raducanu forehand now as they go forehand to forehand. As Raducanu hits a backhand down the line, but I think she missed it. Yeah, she... Oh, no, it was on the line. On the line. Great shot. All right, love, 15 love. Beautiful shot, Raducanu. 15 love. All right, 15 love. As a return. Nope. By the way, Australia is playing Sri Lanka in cricket right now, and we have to win. All right, double fault Raducanu, 15-0. We have to win. If we lose, we don't care, but we have to win. Menchik's got a match point. I thought he was losing. What happened? All right, 15-0. There's Raducanu, 30-15. Menchik wins. Actually, what happened? Because like 5 seconds ago, people were saying how shit he was. And saying like, what has he done? He's lost. No, he won. What are you talking about? He lost. He won. He was always going to win. Marathon match. Well, it seemed like after the first set, it seemed pretty simple. 40-15. But I didn't watch the match, so I don't know. Sinner Menchik interesting. Is that actually a thing? Sinner Menchik. Ooh, that could be a thing. That would be actually very interesting right now. Forehand goes into the forehand of Ruzic. Forehand of Raducanu as Ruzic hits it wide and Raducanu stays in front. 3-2. 3-2 Raducanu in the second. Menchik was down a break in the third. Oh, that's why people were going crazy. Okay. But he came back to win. Yeah, good win then. All right. Raducanu leads 3-2. How are we doing, chap? How are we? And is Raducanu going to come back and win this match? That's the real question. Will Raducanu win this match? All right. Back to Ruzic. As Raducanu comes to the net, Ruzic with a pass. Raducanu volleys a winner. Love 15. Love 15. As Ruzic serves off. Oh, second serve. Serving the backhand of Raducanu. Backhand from Ruzic. As Raducanu can't get that one. Ruzic hits the winner, 15-0. As Raducanu returned the net, 30-15. Penko down a double break in the second? Damn. 30-15. What's been your favorite match of the year so far? Ooh, good question. That's a good question. Favorite match? Backhand to backhand rally now. Forehand from Ruzic. Raducanu backhand to the backhand of Ruzic. There's Raducanu. Again to the backhand of Ruzic. Into the forehand of Raducanu. Ruzic wins the point. 40-15. Maybe Alcaraz Zverev, but I don't know. Maybe Alcaraz Zverev, just because of what it was memorable because of what happened within the match, the cramping that Alcaraz had and stuff like that made it memorable. Like the way that the match went. Like it wasn't maybe the best quality of matches, but in terms of like drama and stories, I feel like that was maybe my favorite match of the year so far. Whereas the Djokovic Sinner match was probably in the semis was probably more a better match, but it was a bit more like one break in each set. It wasn't like it didn't really have as much like Djokovic winning was the story, but within the match I don't feel like it had like as much like there wasn't as much going on within the match as there was with that, like there was a point there that we thought that Alcaraz was maybe going to retire. Like that was, so I don't know. Yeah, it's one of those two matches though. Those are my two. They've been the most fun. Those two. And on the women's side, probably, maybe the AO final or, I really liked Mboko, last week. That was fun. As Raducanu to volley winner, 15-0. Mboko versus Andreeva that was really interesting. Or even the Shelton match yesterday was pretty awesome too. Cam loves drama. I do when it's on the court. When it's within a tennis match for sure. Because it makes it adds to the match, right? The story of the match. If a tennis match was a movie and there was there's some, added drama or some something goes wrong, it makes it more interesting. Right? If somebody cramps or somebody, something happens within that match, it's not so much that I like the drama, but it's it's more interesting if something happens. Whereas if it's just like, hey, two players played really well, okay, cool. Shots are great, highlights, but I don't know. It makes it more interesting. Did I see Rude's YouTube channel? No. I heard about it, though. All right, 15-30. Is it a forehand from Raducanu into the forehand of Ruzic? Ruzic hits a winner. And it's 15-40. Ruzic, a chance to get the break. Penko, Kalinskaya going 3. All right. Serving to the backhand of Ruzic. Backhand out from Raducanu. The backhand of Ruzic. As Raducanu forehand to the forehand of Ruzic. And Ruzic hits a winner. There's the break. Raducanu didn't even attempt to run for that. Raducanu is not looking good. And again, I don't know if it's because she's still sick from last week or if she's like, what's going on, but she does not look she doesn't look super into this. Shelton Fritz was amazing. Oh yeah, that was great. That was so much fun yesterday. Rude did a day in the life video and it's great. Oh, nice. All right, Ruzic 4-3. I want to. We'll talk about the. Well, some people. Nobody's even mentioned it, but very interesting how. Well, she splits up with her coach a couple weeks ago, right? Raducanu, and she makes it to the final of Romania, right? Without the coach, without her, with a different coach. But the last two times. Two matches, she has, especially the last match, I think we can give her a bit of a break because of what happened. She just played in Romania. She shouldn't have played last week. But this is also lingering. So whatever was last week is lingered into this week. Now, hopefully, if she doesn't win this match, she has a couple of weeks to get ready for Indian Wells. But we're just going to keep an eye on what is going to happen and how Raducanu reacts to adversity, right? Because back in, one of my pet peeves for watching Raducanu was when times got tough, she didn't dig in, right? At times, over in the past. Like round 23, 24, 25, right? Last year, she was much better, though. Actually, last year, when there was adversity, she would, grind it out and she wouldn't fold. And I'm not saying she's folding now. But we just got to keep an eye on that over the next few weeks when she plays more, that if times get tough, does she still have that grit without Roig? Because he, being obviously the coach of Rafa, him being a guy who, you look at it and he's like, keep going, push through the pain. Not having him there to motivate you through the bad times. We'll see if that actually is a big factor for Raducanu, because if she looks at her coaches and her coaches are not, giving, pushing her through these moments, right? Where these tough moments where she's not feeling great, because you're never going to feel great every day. You're never going to be 100% all the time, but you still got to figure out how to win, even when you're not your best, right? I feel like he was such a big help to Raducanu for those reasons. But when times are getting tough, like now, not having him there or not having someone like him there, let's see if she can self-motivate, right? Now, this is not the match that we critique based on one match, right? We'll have to wait until what happens in Indian Wells, Miami, see what happens in the future. But if this keeps happening where things get tough, but she kind of goes, oh, I can't do it, and not have that person to push them through this pain, right? We'll see whether or not that happens, right? If it's a trend. She doesn't even attempt. She tried. She took one step to get to that drop shot. She was like, can't do it. And this is what Raducanu was. It would annoy me about Raducanu back in the day when she wouldn't push herself physically through these barriers. But again, we won't judge her on this match because if she is not 100%, if she's sick, then when she gets, we can put it down to, okay, maybe she's not feeling well. But the next time, in 2 weeks, if she feels better physically, but she still doesn't, push through the adversity and she kind of just goes, whatever, that's going to really bug me. But we'll see. Because I think we got to, I think her making the final of Romania, we forgot that she actually split with a guy who got her back to top 30, right? Roige is a big, and also Pecci, but Roige definitely should get a lot of credit for Raducanu making the final of Romania. Even though he wasn't the coach to do it, he definitely gave her a lot of things that helped her get to where she is right now. And had she have not had him, who knows if she would have even gotten back to top 30 and all those things. But not having him we'll see if it actually affects her game in the next few tournaments. Because I feel like, it's underestimated that he would have, especially, if you're getting coached by Rafa's old coach and you're feeling like, oh man, I'm not feeling great. And you look over and you're looking at Rafa's old coach and he's telling you, you've got this, and he believes in you, that would give me confidence. But not having that person, you look over to your new coach and you're like, yeah, you probably just don't get the same feeling. You know what I mean? Then going to somebody who helped Rafa do some crazy shit, right? I mean, you know what I'm saying? We don't know who split with who, by the way. They just parted ways. It could have been Roy's idea. It could have been Raducanu. It could have been a mutual decision. But it's something we've got to keep an eye on over the next couple of tournaments to see whether or not him not being there in difficult moments is going to affect Raducanu. As we back end now to the passing shot of Ruzic, not Roy, she's not playing. As we forehand Ruzic, 30-0. Ruzic 2 points away from a big win for her. She wasn't even going to play 6 hours ago. She wasn't even in the draw 6 hours ago. All right, 30-0. As the return goes in the forehand of Raducanu. Forehand to forehand rally as Raducanu forehand down the middle to the backhand of Ruzic. Raducanu forehand winner is too good, 40-30. I still remember in the Zverev-Alcaraz match when you said Zverev saw Alcaraz getting tired. Oh, that was my favorite moment of that match. One of my highlights, the highlights of that match, was that moment that Zverev just stared down Alcaraz as Alcaraz started to cramp. That was one of the biggest moments of that match. It was so. That was probably my favorite moment of the match. To see Zverev just kind of look at Alcaraz and walk back to the baseline and just kind of look at Alcaraz like, "Are you feeling okay, buddy?" That was one of the greatest moments of the match. All right, back to Deuce. I love that moment. Unfortunately, it didn't turn out to be a win for Zverev, but that moment when he stared down Alcaraz as Alcaraz's legs started to give way, that was a huge moment. That's why I'd rewatch that match, because those moments didn't happen in the Djokovic match. Djokovic and Sinner was a higher quality match, but those moments where Zverev gives him a look and Alcaraz is stretching and talking to his coaches being like, my legs hurt. That didn't happen in the Sinner Djokovic match because it was all about the tennis. It wasn't about the physicality. It wasn't about conditions. It wasn't about the psychological battle wasn't as strong. But between Zverev and Alcaraz, that was my favorite moment of that match. That midpoint of the match as well. When that happened, you're like, oh, everything changed. Makes me want to go watch that match now. Return. Goes to the forward of Raducanu. Slice from Ruzic. As the forehand Raducanu down the line, Ruzic puts up a lob, but it's nowhere near. And then Zverev starts complaining to the umpire about Alcaraz getting a medical timeout for cramp and all that. That was, again, none of that happened in the Djokovic-Sinner match because it was all about the tennis. But those are the moments that make things memorable. The whole story of that match with Alcaraz winning the first set after Zverev falters at 4-all, puts in a shocking game at 4-all. And then the second set where Zverev had chances to win that second set, but then Alcaraz takes the tiebreak. Then Alcaraz cramps, and Zverev starts complaining about getting medical treatment for cramp is not allowed. Then he wins the tiebreak anyway, and he goes into the fourth, and then the fourth. It just had so much more. What's the word? Not drama, but so much more. It was just had more substance, because it wasn't just about forehands and backhands and who was, converting break points. It was okay, now Alcaraz is not 100%. All right, well, Zverev's got to figure out how to win now because, he's playing an injured guy, and that's never a hurt guy. That's never easy, right? Whereas the Djokovic-Sinner match was more about, Djokovic took his chances in the final set when Sinner didn't convert break points, right? That was the story of that match. Sinner not converting break points. But there was so much more to what Zverev and Alcaraz. You could make a movie about that match, right? You could do a movie about that match. The Sinner Djokovic match would be a movie, but it wouldn't be as good. It wouldn't be as there wasn't as much going on. It was a little bit more straightforward. Well, Sinner, didn't convert break points. But yeah. Anyways. Should go back and turn that into a reel? Hey, look, if you can clip that, if somebody's clipped that, I'll try and do that. All right, Raducanu holds. Ruzic is going to serve this match. But those are the matches that just make you love the sport, But the thing was, the thing about that is it's so hard to pick between those two, right? It depends on what it depends on whatever, right? But the fact that day happened, that was one of the single best days of tennis we've had. We'll remember that day for a long time, right? That day is going to be remembered. We remember certain matches, but then there's sometimes in tennis we remember a day. The day that Tipsarevic took Federer to 5 and it pushed Leighton Hewitt's match into 5 a.m. or 4 a.m., right? That day of tennis is remembered. Fix your hair cam, relax, all right? Don't just close your eyes and you don't have to see it. There's just days of tennis that we remember the day, and that day, the semi-final day of Australian Open will be remembered because first we had the Alcaraz Zverev craziness, and then it backed up with a 5-set epic where Djokovic upset Sinner. That whole day was just such a big moment. And then also remembering that the rest of the tournament before that was kind of boring. Besides Musetti having a 2-set lead against Djokovic, everything else kind of was mid. In the middle of the match, it was tournament was kind of boring. And then the women's final and then the men's final, right? It ended with a bang. Love 15. As Ruzic gets a 15-0, Raducanu in the net. By the way, Callan Sky's up a break in the third against Penko. 15-0. As we return now from Raducanu to the front of Ruzic. But Ruzic hits it long. All right. 15-30. 15-30. As Ruzic serves again. As a backhand return goes long by Ruzic, and it's 15-40. 15-40. Chance for Raducanu to get back on serve. That was a crazy catch. Anyways, 30-40. That was a crazy catch. If you're watching the T20 World Cup right now, that was a crazy catch. That was insane. That was crazy. Anyways, 30-40, and I'm Australian. I have to say, and I like that hurts my feelings, but that was crazy. All right, second serve. In the back of Raducanu, Ruzic hits it long. We're back on serve. 5-5. What was that catch? Flying backwards. Get out of here. Off a rocket from Maxwell. Crazy. That was a crazy catch. Anyways, 5-0. Raducanu's back on serve. That was a huge catch. That was insane. 5-5. As the backhand return goes in the backhand of Raducanu. Backhand now from Ruzic. Into the forward of Raducanu. Ruzic backhand cross court. Raducanu slices it back. Into the backhand of Ruzic. Raducanu wins a point though. Ruzic hits it out. 15-love. All right, 15-love. Now, Eala and Paolini are playing tomorrow night. They're playing tomorrow. Serving to the backhand of Ruzic. Forehand from Raducanu in the forehand of Ruzic. As Raducanu forehand down the line. The backhand of Ruzic. And Ruzic in the net. 30-love. Yeah, it's going to be a late night for the Philippines if you're watching that one. Be a late night tomorrow. All right, 30-love Raducanu. That was a crazy catch. That catch was crazy. 40-love! Insane. They keep replaying it. Anyways, 40-love. Love. As the return goes in, for Raducanu. Off the tape. Goes long, 40-15. Penko collapsing. Oh, no. Ruzic did push Osaka in Australia. Exactly. She did. All right, 40-15. Raducanu to take the lead. $40-15. First serve is a let. Raducanu serves. Into the backhand of Ruzic. That goes out in the return. Raducanu. 6-5. Been an hour this set. All right, Ruzic going to try and get to the tiebreak. Penko looks gassed. Okay. Organizers should know how to adjust time schedule. Nah, but they're going to do it for the tournament. They're not going to do it for the viewership. So they don't really... Unfortunately, tournaments don't really care about where you're watching from. They only care about how many people are going to show up. So they're going to put matches on when they think is going to bring the most people. Also, I think the reason why they put Paolini Eala on last is to try and get some people into the Raducanu match. Because last night, we saw what happened when everybody came for the first match and then left for the second. So Sonmez Balik didn't get the same crowd. I think what they're trying to do, the organizers, is they're trying to capture the early... Like the Filipinos that are going to be there early. Does that make sense? So by putting it as the second night match, people will show up to the first night match with Raducanu, watch that, and then stay for Eala. So they're trying to capture the audience, get them to come early. And they might not, but also they probably will a little bit. Whereas they found out the hard way last night when they put Eala on first that the second match everybody left. And that didn't look good. So I think they're trying to. That's why they put them on so late. Not because they want to screw over the people from the Philippines to watch. They just put it on late because they think it'll capture. Like the first match will have more audience. Smart. Like it's a smart move. And maybe it is for the Italians. Maybe the Italian viewers, they put it on a better time for Italians. Yeah. I'm not sure what 3 or 4... What is it? What time are they playing? Like 9 p.m. Dubai is for Italy. Yeah, it's like prime time Italy. So maybe they're doing it for prime time for Paolini as well. So it might be a bit of both. So then the Italians can watch Paolini at night. All right, love 15 here. Raducanu doesn't want to play a tie break. Backhand to backhand rally, but Ruzic hits a winner. 15-0. As Ruzic serves a fault, second serve. So the front of Raducanu, Ruzic backhand off the tape. Oh, it's a winner. Raducanu was never going to get there. 15-0. Sorry, 30-15. As Ruzic serves a fault, second serve. You'll be up late tomorrow, Cam? Yeah, I plan on it. I mean, it's 2 a.m. now. I'm already up late. So I live late. Back into backhand rally. As Raducanu forehand cross-court, the front of Ruzic. Into the front of Raducanu. Ruzic backhand. To the backhand of Raducanu. Ruzic goes down the line, but in the net. And it's 30-0. As long as this week I don't have to watch the sunrise too much, I'll be happy. Watching the sunrise, it sounds beautiful, but it's also depressing if you've been up all night and you hear the birds chirp and you're like, ugh, I need to pass out. Tonight I'm hopefully going to bed early. Maybe like 4 a.m. As a return now from Raducanu, the front of Ruzic. Raducanu with a slice in the net. Ruzic, 40-30. 40-30. As the return goes backhand of Ruzic. Ruzic in the net. All right, we get the deuce. As Ruzic serves a fault. Second serve. Serve to the forehand of Raducanu. Ruzic forehand to the back of Raducanu. As Ruzic into the forehand again of Raducanu. Ruzic goes down the line. Raducanu's there with the backhand inside out to the slice of Ruzic. Raducanu forehand again as Ruzic on the stretch gets it. Raducanu again with the forehand to the forehand of Ruzic. Into the backhand of Raducanu. Ruzic forehand again to the slice of Raducanu. Is Ruzic backhand. Again to the Raducanu backhand. Goes down the line for a winner, Raducanu. What a shot to bring up set point. Advantage Raducanu. Raducanu, just like I was saying, chat, fighting through adversity, how would she look? Because she didn't look great, and now she looks great. She's fighting through, even though hasn't been 100% at all in this match. She's got a set point. Serve. Into the back of Raducanu, return goes short. Ruzic, forehand. To the backhand pass, Raducanu. Ruzic volley in the net, we're going 3, baby. Raducanu somehow wins the set. She was down a break. Ruzic served for it. And then Raducanu turned the tables and fights her way to a third. Naysayers went quiet. Yeah, that happens. That happens. Whenever the player that they start bagging on comes back, crickets. Not the cricket. By the way, how close was Ruzic to winning this match? I mean, she was 2 points away multiple times. Raducanu serving to stay in the match. 30-all, deuce, and then Ruzic 15. It was 15-all, and then lost the game to get broken back. So Raducanu was on the brink of defeat. A couple of points away. She didn't have a match point, but she was very close, Ruzic, from taking this match. And now Raducanu's going 3. All right. Raducanu seems fine when she's winning. Yeah, I mean, that probably helps. Like, when you start winning, you probably feel a little better about yourself. Like, I mean, yeah. If the score's in your favor, you're probably thinking, I feel a little better now that I don't have to, like, stress about the score as much. Worried that if Raducanu is unwell, a 3-setter pretty much ensures she's going to lose next round. Well, we'll see. She might not play the next match. I mean, if she does win this match, she has to play tomorrow. So if she's still not feeling well, even if she wins this match, she might not play tomorrow. But we'll wait and see. We've got to get through this match first. But great to see Emma's fighting through. Rejuvenated Emma with win. Rejuvenated is a strong word. I don't think Raducanu is feeling fantastic. Like, I think Raducanu is still not feeling the best. And you can also put it down to maybe some nerves from Ruzic serving for the match. Because it's a big win to beat Raducanu for anybody. You know, you beat a Grand Slam champion, that's a big win. But yeah, I wouldn't go as far as to say Raducanu is like, she's back and she's looking great, and like, she played some great shots to end the set, but I don't think she's feeling great, all of a sudden. She'll feel better that the score's in her, like, she won the set. But I don't think she's like, oh yeah, she's totally fine now. Emma's got a win. She's starting to taking the breaks off Ruzic's serve, yeah. She's broken Ruzic a couple of times in the last few games. Energized Raducanu? Definitely don't think that. All right. Here we go. Raducanu will be serving first in the final set. So the winner of this match will take on Zakharova tomorrow, who beat Uchiyama, who was a lucky loser. So that is what is on the line. I think both players are going to the bathroom. That's what we're waiting for. Man. It's been a long year. Medical timeout for Penko, apparently. What's going on there? Sports are crazy. Just when you think Raducanu is toast, she is playing a third set. Yeah. Yep. Things can change pretty quickly. All right. Who's going to win the final set, chat? Let me know. Raducanu's going to serve. She wins the first point, 15-love. All right, serve again. And return goes to forehand Raducanu. Forehand from Ruzic. Ruzic hits it long. And it's 30-love. All right, he's got a forehand out from Ruzic into the forehand of Raducanu. Ruzic forehand to forehand with Raducanu. Raducanu slices it. Goes long, 30-15. As that goes out in the return from Ruzic. And it's 40-15. All right, serving to the backhand of Ruzic. Return the backhand of Raducanu. Ruzic backhand in the net. 1-love Raducanu. Final set. All right. Final set. All right, back to Ruzic, who hasn't held serve for a while. If Emma feels a bit better, then Emma... But if not, I'm not sure. Yeah, we'll find out. All right, 1-love. As Raducanu goes the backhand of Ruzic. Raducanu backhand down the line. Ruzic on the stretch goes wide. Love 15. Penko back at 2-all against Kalinskaya. Okay. All right, 15. I love 15. As Ruzic serves again. Into the forehand of Raducanu. Forehand from Ruzic. Again to the forehand of Raducanu. As Ruzic forehand again to the forehand of Raducanu. Ruzic down the line. Forehand goes long. And it's... love 30. Love 30. As the return goes in the net by Raducanu, 15-30. Ostapenko may be the most hot and cold player on the WTA. If she is hot, she can beat anyone. If she's off, she can lose to anybody. It definitely happens, doesn't it? $15.30. As it a fine now from Ruzic. Raducanu fine goes long. It's 30-0. Ruzic serves again. Fault, second serve. Serve in the back of Raducanu. Good return. Ruzic gets it. Raducanu comes in with a volley. Ruzic. Pass, but Raducanu volleys it away. Break point Raducanu. 30-40. Yep, Sinner's playing in like an hour and a half. $30-40. Ruzic serves. In the backhand, Raducanu. Ruzic. Forehand cross-court. Great shot. We get the deuce. All right. Deuce. Serve to the forehand of Raducanu. Ruzic backhand to the backhand of Raducanu. Raducanu in the net. Advantage Ruzic. Serve is a fault. Second serve. As the return goes backhand of Ruzic, backhand of Raducanu is a winner. Back to deuce. Back to deuce. All right. As Ruzic down break point again. Advantage Raducanu. Serve is an ace out wide. Back to deuce. As Ruzic serves a fault. Second serve. Serve to the back of Raducanu. Ruzic forehand to the forehand of Raducanu. Again, the forehand of Ruzic. Raducanu forehand in the middle to the backhand of Ruzic. As they go back into backhand rally. Now forehand from Raducanu. Ruzic backhand on the stretch. Raducanu stays back with the backhand into the backhand of Ruzic again. She keeps picking on Ruzic's backhand and it works eventually. As Ruzic hits it long. And it's advantage Raducanu. Advantage Raducanu to take the break. Advantage Raducanu. Serve the forehand of Raducanu, return the net, and it's back to deuce. God, Ruzic with the serve is hanging on. All right, deuce. As Ruzic serves again. And the return goes out by Raducanu. Advantage Ruzic. Serving to the corner, Raducanu. Great return winner. Back to deuce. Another marathon game here. All right, back to deuce. We're back in place tomorrow. As Ruzic serves a fault. Double fault. All right, advantage Raducanu again. To take the break. Great serve down the tee. Raducanu gets back. Ruzic backhand winner. No, she missed it. Oh, I think she was going to go cross court with the backhand. Raducanu started to run. And then she tried to change direction. But by that time, it was too late and she hits it long. And Ruzic gives the break to Raducanu. 2-love in the final set. Raducanu's won like 7 games in a row. All right. Raducanu is in control for now. As return goes out by... No, goes in by Ruzic. Okay, backhand goes long that time by Ruzic, and it's 15-love. As Raducanu serves. The backhand of Ruzic. Forehand Raducanu. Ruzic with a slice. Raducanu forehand inside out. Ruzic gets it back. Into the forehand of Raducanu. Ruzic backhand down the line. Lands in 15-0. Yeah, Raducanu is supposed to play tomorrow. Mahat shouldn't give him any problems, fingers crossed. Mahat has actually been pretty good this year. I looked at Matt Hatch's results and I was like, holy shit, he's been really good. He's won a title. You know, Mahat is no joke for Sinner. It would be a huge upset if it happened, but Mahat is no joke. He can win matches. He is very dangerous. 4-4 rally. As Ruzic hits a winner, 15-30. Chance to get the break back, Ruzic. So yeah, Sinner's coming on in about an hour. Also, Feast is on right now. He is down a set against Myshak. Penko's in the lead in the third, but Osa has got a break already in her match against Siniakova, 2-love. 15-30. Thanks, Anthony. Has it a backhand rally. Now to the forehand of Ruzic. Backhand of Raducanu. Into the backhand of Ruzic. Is Raducanu backhand again? The backhand of Ruzic. Down the line of the forehand of Raducanu, but Raducanu can't get it. 15-40. Ruzic to get back on serve. All right, 15-40. As the return goes forward of Raducanu, backhand of Ruzic. Into the back of Raducanu. Ruzic backhand down the middle of the forehand of Raducanu. Ruzic with a slice. Raducanu forehand again to the forehand of Ruzic. As Raducanu backhand cross court. Ruzic gets it. Down the line of the forehand of Raducanu. Ruzic hits a forehand long. It's 30-40. 30-40. One saved. All right, serve again, Raducanu. $30-40. Serving to the forehand of Ruzic. Forehand of Raducanu. The backhand of Ruzic. Raducanu backhand again to the backhand of Ruzic. He's going backhand to backhand now. Ruzic with the forehand. Raducanu gets back with the forehand into the forehand of Ruzic. Into the forehand of Raducanu. Ruzic hits a winner, and there's the break back. 2-1. 2-1 Raducanu, but Ruzic breaks back. All right. Okay. All right. 2-1 Raducanu. Emma always plays well when she shouts after a point. Yeah. She is, I tell you, what, 45 minutes ago, we were thinking, shit, Raducanu's going to go to Indian Wells. I don't think she's playing after this, is she? She's playing Indian Wells? Well, maybe she's playing in Austin. Hang on. No. Merida? No. So yeah, Raducanu's not playing until Indian Wells. And we'll talking about this at the end of the second, going, well, shit. She better win. She better figure out why the last 2 weeks haven't gone her way, or at least hopefully get better. Because physically, because she wasn't looking great. She had a medical time at the start of this match, or in the first set of this match. But then since that, she's just fought back with a little bit of help from Ruzic. She got a little nervous serving for it. But Raducanu has just dug in, shown that determination. As it a forehand now from Ruzic into the backhand of Raducanu. Ruzic into that Raducanu forehand as Ruzic forehand down the line. Raducanu gets it with the backhand into the forehand of Ruzic. To the forehand of Raducanu. Ruzic down the line into the backhand of Raducanu as Ruzic backhand again to the backhand of Raducanu. And Raducanu hits a winner down the line. Love 15. Love 15. All right. Ruzic serves again. Nice. 15-0. All. As the return goes net by Raducanu, 30-15. All right, as Raducanu hits it out in the return, 40-15. All right, as Ruzic holds, and it's 2-0 in the third. Definitely not 5. All right, 2-0. As Raducanu 15 love. As we default second serve. As with a forehand rally, a backhand, a forehand again from Ruzic in the forehand of Raducanu. Ruzic again to the forehand of Raducanu, to the backhand of Ruzic. Raducanu backhand down the line is wide. And it's 15-0. All. As a default from Raducanu, second serve. Seven to the backhand of Ruzic. Backhand of Raducanu to the front of Ruzic, who hits a winner. All right, 15-30. Raducanu's in trouble. 15-30. Now we default second serve. Seven to the forehand of Ruzic. Good return. Raducanu gets it with a forehand on the stretch. Raducanu slice now into the backhand of Ruzic. As Raducanu in the nets. And it's 15-40. Ruzic to take the break in the final set. $15-40. As the return goes out, and that's one save, 30-40. $30-40. And we default second serve. Serving to the backhand of Ruzic. Backhand of Raducanu. To the backhand of Ruzic is Raducanu down the line. Backhand. Good shot. Ruzic gets it. Raducanu. 4 on the stretch in the net. There's the break. For Ruzic. All right, 3-2. Ruzic with the break. She was down, 2-love? Or love 2? Now she leads 3-2. Penko's match is so close. Yeah, what's going on with that one? Penko 4-3 up, okay. And we got Sinner coming up in about an hour. All right. 3-2. Ruzic. What time's the Eala's match tomorrow? About this time tomorrow. Around this time tomorrow. Maybe a little later, but about this time tomorrow. All right, 3-2 Ruzic. She has the break. As the return goes into the slice of Ruzic. Ruzic in the net. Love 15. Serve again. Into the front of Raducanu. Ruzic backhand to the back of Raducanu. Again to the back of Ruzic. That's a great shot. 15-0. And we had a fault, second serve. And we had a fault, double fault, all right. 15-30. As the backhand return goes the backhand of Ruzic. Backhand of Raducanu as Ruzic goes down the line of the forward of Raducanu. Into the backhand of Ruzic, who hits an inside-out winner. 30-0. As Ruzic serves again. And it's out by Raducanu on the return, 40-30. Ruzic to make it 4 games in a row. There's a bit of serve from Ruzic in the back of Raducanu, but it's called a let. There's a bit of fault. As the return goes into the net by Raducanu. All right. Ruzic, 4-2, final set. She won 4 games in a row. All right. Raducanu needs a fight back. Big fight back now. First serve's a fault. Second serve. As the return goes into the backhand of Raducanu. Raducanu missed it. Love 15. As the return goes back into Raducanu. Backhand now from Ruzic. Goes long. 15-0. Penko broken at 5-4. I'll tell you, Coco Gauff's loving that. At least loving that those two are playing some crazy match. All right, return goes in the back of Raducanu. Ruzic wins a point, though. Raducanu in the net. And it's 15-30. 15-30. Serve in the back of Ruzic. Return goes short. Raducanu comes to the net. Ruzic pass. Goes long. 30-0. Raducanu serves again. Into the back of Ruzic. Back into Raducanu to the front of Ruzic. Into the back of Raducanu. But Raducanu hits it out. 30-40 Ruzic. To get the double break. And to serve for the match. Feast match might go 3. Okay. All right. 30-40. First serve's a fault. Second serve. Into the front of Ruzic. Back into Raducanu. Into the front of Ruzic, who hits a winner. Raducanu. Man, she just did not look interested in that point. All right, 5-2. Ruzic is going to serve for this match. Yeah, we're going to definitely watch Eala Pally tomorrow. That's going to be for sure a match we watch. All right, Ruzic, who served for the match of the second, now has 2 breaks. Who will serve for the match of the third? Raducanu always gives up in the third set, in my opinion. Lamau, she should learn something from Carlos about heart. Okay? Well, she was up 2-love, so I mean, okay. Is losing in the first round even profitable for Emma after taxes and stuff? Why would she come here to lose? Anyways, 5-2. Ruzic to serve for the match. By the way, where are all these people in the second set? They come back now. You all come back now. You're like, oh, now she's losing. I come back. All right. Am I tired? Yeah. I am. And then we're going to watch Sinner. I'm actually hungry. After this, I can eat. All right, Ruzic serving for the match. Again. This time it's an hour later. She's got 2 chances to serve for it now. All right. Nice serve, Ruzic. 15 love. As Ruzic serves again. That's a fault. Second serve. Second serve. To the backhand Raducanu, backhand Ruzic. Into the forehand Raducanu. Ruzic backhand cross-court winner. Man, Raducanu didn't even move for that one. 30 love. $30 love. Ruzic serve again. Serve to the back of Raducanu. Good return. Ruzic slice. Raducanu comes in, puts it away. 30-15. Raducanu consistently in the second or third round. Bro, she just made a final. What do you mean? She made a final like 2 weeks ago. All right, 30-15. As the return goes out by Raducanu, 40-15. Ruzic to get one of the big wins. By the way, again, 6 hours ago, Ruzic wasn't even supposed to play tennis this week. She was a lucky loser last minute. She came in last minute. Serve is a fault. Second serve. Second serve. Into the back of Raducanu. Return is out. Ruzic wins. All right. Good comeback. I mean, it looked like Raducanu was going to run away with it in that final set when she got up the break. But Ruzic fought back after the disappointment of serving for it. And she gets it done. Long match too. Cam's going to cry. Oh, I'm so sad. How'd you know? I'm just going to get off stream so I can cry. All right. Ruzic gets the win. And she is into the second round. Raducanu will play Indian Wells in a couple weeks. Hopefully, I mean, if she's sick or whatever's been going on, she had a medical timeout in this match as well. Hopefully, a couple weeks off will get her back to full health for Indian Wells and for Miami, because those are big tournaments. But there it is. By the way, to the three Raducanu fans who were like Raducanu haters who were like, "Oh, she lost, boo-hoo." Why do you watch her? Why do you watch her? Like, it's weird that you watch it, right? Kalinskaya wins. Ooh, Kalinskaya Gauff. Interesting. By the way, Royal, I think you actually secretly love Raducanu. Like, if Raducanu, if you weren't like, you say fanboys, but I think you kind of love Raducanu. I gotta lie. I feel like if you watch her more than her fans, like, actually. So I don't know, man. I feel like you're a little bit like, we watch her, but you're like obsessed with her result. Like, it's a bit weird, man. Kalinskaya Gauff is a good match. We're not haters, we're objective. No, John, I'm not talking to you. We're watching Sinner in about an hour, so that's good. You make tennis exciting? Thank you. Cam's voice is cracking. Oh, Karan, you are also... I mean, mate, you're not fooling anybody, buddy. You only watch Raducanu matches. You're the... Bro! You only watch Raducanu, and you what are you? Are you okay? God, that's weird, man. You only watch Raducanu. Like you actually you only come to Raducanu matches. Oh, you came to a Djokovic match once. Interesting, man. Like, that's weird, bro. Callan's got to beat Gauff. Ooh, interesting. Nah, I can't cover baseball because I don't know baseball. Raducanu's losing is pure entertainment. God, Rayo, you must have so many friends and everybody wants to hang out with you. God, I can't imagine, man. What do you do for work? Are you like a really successful person? I feel like that you must be really like if your entertainment is watching somebody go through losses in their life, you must be a really successful person in your life. Because that's a winner mentality to watch somebody lose. For sure, right? That's a real winner right there. I want to watch somebody religiously watch somebody that doesn't win, and I'm going to say mean things about them losing because I'm a winner. It doesn't come from a winner, that doesn't, I don't think. You think these people work? That was look, I didn't say that was harsh, but that's a good point. That's okay. Jim was just, I mean, you were not pulling a punch. That was savage. I thought I was savage. I was being nice. You go just with a sledgehammer. Holy shit. God, Jim just not mincing words at all. Hey, look, I think we should end the stream now. That's what a way to end. What a way to end. Anyways, Jim, take a bow. That was savage. All right. Anyways, Sinner's coming up soon. How do we move on from that? Last time you said, let's give Emma one time. She's probably tired. And let's just see that one time. This time, she played one short notice against Ruzic, who's out of form. What are you trying to say? I don't understand. That's brutal. That was brutal. That was brutal. Fernandez, Ostapenko, Raducanu. Next is Paolini. Stars are aligning for Eala. Hey. I love that your positive attitude around Eala. We'll watch her tomorrow. Just tell us first what you need to do at Indian Wells. Maybe somebody will offer up. I need to go to Indian Wells? I don't know, about $3,000. Won 6 games, then lost 6. Yeah, that was a tough one. She definitely had a role there. By the way, Feast is into a third. Often Stearns from... Okay, all right. So yeah, Raducanu, she doesn't have... I don't know if she... I think she's playing... She has got a coach, but it's not a permanent situation. I think she's still got like an LTA coach for now. Ruzic, no joke, made the semis of Hobart and got a set of Osaka. Yeah, I mean, Ruzic, she hasn't been good lately. Like she's lost she's lost like a few matches in a row now, but until now. But yeah, Ruzic had a great start to the year. like she had a positive start to the year. Yeah, she has an LTA coach. Yeah, I thought she did. So probably just a temporary situation, I guess. Penko lost to Kalinskaya, surprise, after she steamrolled Kalinskaya in the first set. Yeah, Penko matches are weird like that. Yeah, that's how Penko goes though sometimes. All right, I'm going to send you over the Sinner match, and we're going to be back to watch that. God, it's actually been a really long. Well, we've been streaming for like 5 hours straight. That match was way longer. That match was long. So jump on over here and we'll watch Jannik Sinner, which could be a really tricky one against Mahach. Mahach can put on a show. Who would be a good coach for her in your opinion? I don't know. I think it goes beyond getting a coach. I mean, she's had coaches, right? I mean, many different coaches, and you know, I think it's more of a. I don't think it's a coach thing. Like her coach isn't the thing, right? Because she's had good results with all different coaches. She's had bad results with all different coaches. It's like I don't think it's a coach. Like getting a good coach is not the answer. She had a good coach. Roig is a great coach. You know, and they parted ways for whatever reason. So yeah, I don't think it's as simple as like she just needs a good coach. Because she's had good coaches. And she's had varied results. Now, mind you, Raducanu, over the last 2 years, if you look at her career over the last 2 years, she is tracking up, right? I mean, it's not like she's going backwards. Yeah, she lost today. She's lost 2 matches in the last couple of weeks. But her ranking has been going up. Like, she really hasn't... Like, she hasn't been going backwards. You know, don't listen to the 3 people in the chat that are screaming because they hate Watch Raducanu like a bunch of champions. She's been going slowly up the rankings. 12 months ago, she was 60 in the world, right? She's gone from 60 to now, 25 in the world, right? So she's slowly going up. She's made a final of a 250, right? She's had some good wins. She's had some obviously bad losses too. It hasn't all been winning, but not everybody is undefeated in tennis anyway. But she is slowly rising back up the rankings. After, again, and you won't hear this from the haters, after multiple surgeries, right, where she wasn't playing for the best part of, 6 to 10 months, wrist surgeries and ankle surgeries. But start of 2024, 2 years ago, she was 300 in the world. And slowly, over the last, 48 months, she's gotten up to the top 25, right? Which, if you didn't know anything about Raducanu before 2024, you would be like, oh yeah, she just steadily going up the rankings. She basically had to restart, right? But because she won that US Open, there's an expectation for some people, right? But if you look at her career over the last 2 years, it's pretty good. It's been good. It's just that she won a Grand Slam at the first time of her first thing in her career, and unfortunately, that has set her up to her expectations up high, and that if she loses to anybody outside of the top 10, it's a bad loss, and that sucks for her. But over the last 2 years, she's actually been doing okay. She's gone from 320 to 25. She's made a final of a 250. She's got some top 10 wins in there. I mean, she's actually been okay. But today, obviously, is not a great loss today. But for whatever she was dealing with last week, where she had to retire, whatever she was dealing with today, which looked like a similar issue, right? She didn't look like she was running for everything. She had a medical timeout. So if she's still got something lingering from last week, hopefully the 2 weeks off until Indian Wells will help her get back to a 100%, whatever it is. If she's sick, if she's tired, whatever it is. Hopefully the next couple of weeks will give her time to rest and recover so she can come back fit, Anyways, great win from Ruzic. She snaps a losing streak as well, which she had dating back to the start of the year. So she, as a last-minute replacement, gets a massive win. And I don't know if that's the biggest win of her career, but I want to say it's one of the most high-profile wins of her career. Let me just give Ruzic some flowers here because that might have been her best win ever. Literally. It was. That was actually Ruzic's best win of her career. Highest ranked opponent win. Her highest up until then was Lynette back in Wuhan last year. So her highest ranked win. So huge for Ruzic. Huge moment for her. And again, 6 hours ago, she didn't even know she was playing because she wasn't playing. Cocciaretto was playing. Anyways, I'll see you guys in about 30 minutes. We've got Sinner coming up against Mahatch. We're going to Doha. But Ruzic wins 6-1, 5-7, 6-2. Knocks out Raducanu.